the coach can by the rear of the school.
The people around me were running, and there were screams. They sounded terrified.
Reports of shots being fired inside the school, and even
about 75 yards away, I saw a gunman coming towards me.
We do have some fatalities. The number...
I saw them come into the library and treat human life like it was a game and play God.
The bullets took 13 lives and tore through an entire community. Now, 20 years after the massacre at Columbine, we find families who forgave, students who returned, and a principal who kept them all together.
We want to understand how you guys all came back from that day.
All these people that I was praying for, 30 minutes later, their brothers and sisters were, their brothers and sisters were showing up.
But not your sister.
The nation stood still as 16-year-old Craig Scott shared the gruesome details of the sister he had lost and the friends he saw killed. But what lingers is a simple gesture.
In your moment of the utmost grief, you held his hand.
Yeah, I went on the Today Show to give my friend's dad a hug. I started to get emotional, and Isaiah's dad reached out his hand and put his hand on mine. It was just a very special moment.
That connection amidst the heartbreak led to a life's purpose.
Each and every one of us in this room has a great capacity.
Through his sister Rachel's story, Craig now preaches compassion to teens across the country.
The shooters wanted to make a negative impact on this world, so my decision was that I want to leave a bigger impact, but in a positive way.
His mother, Beth, says she honors her daughter by letting go of hate.
I think that bitter is a road a lot of people would have gone down, but you went down the path of forgiveness.
Forgiveness isn't saying it's okay that this happened. What forgiveness is giving yourself permission not to make that your life sentence.
Beth says she blames the gunman, but has since made an unimaginable connection.
There's forgiving, and then there's meeting one of the shooter's moms.
We both lost our children, but she had all the shame, the reproach, the hate. I asked the Lord, I said, what am I supposed to say to this mother? And the Lord said, ask her who her son was before April the 20th of 1999. And I did, and tears just rolled down Sue's cheeks. She said, nobody wants to know anything about my little boy that I raised. And I saw a mother's heart. And I had that same feeling for Rachel.
From those who found forgiveness to the students who returned, now teachers at Columbine, with lessons of their own.
One by one, all of you chose to come back to Columbine.
It truly is like home. Everybody just checks up on each other.
I think if you had asked me when I was a senior, I would have said, yeah, I'm never coming back. But to find meaning and purpose out of a tragedy and not let it break you is really powerful.
Chris, are you a different kind of a teacher because of Columbine?
Oh, well, yeah. The fact that I'm a teacher at all is because of Columbine. So how I model myself in the classroom is based off 1999.
I remember our first day back into the building. All of the parents lined the sidewalk. So as we were walking in, it just felt like there was protection all around us. And that was really powerful. That gave me a better understanding of the strength and resiliency of the community.
Who were the helpers when you were students in that moment?
That guy right behind us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mr. D was huge.
And from these former students to the man who inspired them all, the principal who taught a community how to heal.
I wondered how you endured those years. You were helping and you were broken. I mean, that takes something special.
My counselor was on speed dial. I kept envisioning that gunman, and if I heard a large sound, I had a meltdown. And so this is where my counselor helped. He said, Frank, if you're going to continue to be the principal, you can't keep having these images of walking over kids that are dying. You need to celebrate their lives. And now I saw Lauren Townsend playing volleyball, and I saw Isaiah Schills high-fiving me, and I saw Rachel Scott on the stage, and that's what kept me going.
Did you ever feel guilt?
All the time. Those kids walked in my school at 7 a.m. Mr. Sanders walked in and they never returned home. And that's something I have to live with for the rest of my life. But I made a promise there's nothing I can do to bring back the 13, but I'm not going to allow them to die in vain. And each morning when I wake by reciting the names of my beloved 13.
You're going to face many fears.
Principal Frank DeAngelis vowed he would remain at Columbine until every child touched by this tragedy, from kindergarten up, had graduated.
But I'm going to love you for the rest of my life and the rest of your lives.
He kept that promise.
Thank you.
And in 2014, Columbine's beloved principal soared from the rafters, overcoming his own fear of heights with a final lesson for the students he calls his kids.
There is a Columbine slogan, and it is,
"We are Columbine." We are Columbine means no matter what happens to us, we'll always have that special bond, and no one can ever take that away from us.